Hello, I'm going to start with a classroom tour. So this is the front entrance where the kids come in. Right at the doorway, all of our classrooms have this safe space for all sign just to promote inclusivity and let them know that this environment is for all of us and we should all feel included and feel comfortable expressing our opinions and working together. This is the front of the room. I tried to hang posters that would reflect the type of things we're going to be going over for our classes. So right now we're still focusing on parts of speech. We're pretty comfortable with nouns, adverbs, and verbs, but we're kind of backtracking and we're still working on our pronouns, prepositions, and adjectives, and then we're going to keep working with that until we're completely comfortable. Then we'll move on to punctuation. Over here I have the other posters that are going to go into what I expect us to learn throughout the year. We're going to learn about comma rules, commonly confused words. These are like the commonly misspelled in writing words. And then we're going to go over our figures of speech. I teach 3 study skills classes. So those are the classes where I help them get caught up with their work for other teachers. So I've kind of broken it in half because my second period kids have all of these teachers listed, and then my 5th and 6th period kids have all these teachers. So I update it each day with the daily assignments or things that are going to be upcoming. It's a way for them to check on their work. Over here I have our daily schedule. I change it each day because Mondays we have minimum days and then Tuesdays through Fridays are the same, but this week we have an assembly schedule, so I updated the schedule to reflect that. Underneath is our point system, so each period has the opportunity to earn 100 points. Once they get to 100 points, we can, on a Friday, they get to choose a reward. It could be either a movie day, a game day, or it could be to earn a treat. So far my 6 period's in the lead with 85 points, but it just helps them to see how other classes are doing, kind of motivates them to up their point value. I give points for things like being cooperative, if everybody completes the assignment for the day, if we were on task. Sometimes I give my 1st period kids points for if they did well in their reading groups or with working together. But yeah, this is the setup of the classroom. I like to use this back horseshoe table for when I do small groups, when I do my reading groups, or in study skills. If we have a group of kids who are focused on a certain assignment, they come at this table and we all work on it together. Over here, this is my desk. Behind me, I like to hang up just little anecdotes from students. They like to see their work hung up. This is a little calming corner. Students can earn the privilege to sit here if we have some downtime, and if they show me proof that they finished all their work, they're allowed to hang out in the calming corner. Or sometimes if a student is having, some anxieties or a bad day or whatever it may be, I let them sit here to take a few moments to just gather themselves. Over here is a student workstation. I have in here are worksheets that have been handed out for the week. If they missed it, they can come and check here. And then this is the turn-in station. I find that my 1st period English uses it the most. They have things to turn in for me a lot. My study skills classes, everything's mostly digital, so they don't use this area a whole lot. And then I also have supplies here, papers. Over here I try to hang up work from our current unit. So we just wrapped up part 1 of our parts of speech lesson, and this was a puzzle where they had to work with a partner and cut out the different words and put them to the part of speech that they would be assigned. So like, for example, for the nouns, flock, scissors, water, sad, imagination, those were all person, places, or things, so they put them in the nouns portion of the puzzle. And then this is my bulletin board. These are from the beginning of the year when I first was getting to know them all. I had them do a vision board where they were able to choose stickers to express themselves. And then I also have supplies here if students forget pencils or colored pencils or whatever they might need. And yeah. Good morning, class. So up here we have our agenda for the day. First, we're going to start by reviewing our plot notes that we took last week. We're going to do a practice Cinderella activity. You guys are going to do an activity with your group with plot practice, and then we'll end the day with an exit ticket. Okay? Any questions about the agenda?
What's an exit ticket?
Exit ticket. So this is going to be like a little quick 4-question quiz at the end just to see how much you've learned, okay?
Okay.
All right, you guys, so let's just review our parts of plot slideshow just to review those elements of plot. So first we started with our parts of plot chart. So pay attention to this part because you will be quizzed on this at the end. So we have a word bank down here. The climax, the resolution, exposition, rising action, and falling action. Let's go over each definition so we can remember what they mean, and then we'll be able to place them in the appropriate parts on the chart. So we'll start with exposition. Remember that the exposition is the beginning of our story. This is where characters and setting are introduced. So keeping in mind that this is the beginning of our story, do I have anyone out there who might know where would this start on our, where would this word go on our plot chart? Mia?
In the beginning?
In the beginning. So it would probably be our first step of our chart, right? This is where we're first getting introduced to everybody. Rising action. So this could be one or more actions that happen in the beginning of the story. It's where one or more character would be in crisis, or there's different events that are happening as we go through our story. Climax would be the point of the highest emotion or tension. Think of a turning point in a story. Where is the part where there's the most tension, the most drama of the story? That's our pivotal moment. Any questions about the climax?
No.
Okay. Moving on to the falling action. So this happens after our climax. This is after the highest point of tension in our story. This is where the pieces are starting to fall down and come together. This is the resolution of character's crisis. So you might get this confused with resolution. Like resolution, do we have anyone who remembers what is the resolution of a story? Stephen?
At the end of the story.
It's the end of the story. It's where everything's all wrapped up. So falling action is resolution of the character's crisis, not the whole story. Okay? So this is just the part where things are coming together. We don't quite have our happily ever after yet, but we do see some puzzle pieces that are coming together. And then finally, our resolution. So this is the ending of the whole story. All loose ends are tied up. And for example, this would be our happily ever after. Okay, do we think we're ready to fill out that chart as a group first?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly? Okay, let's try it. So thinking of these different like the words and the definitions we've gone over, where do you think would fit in the first piece there, Yusuf?
Exposition.
Exposition, yeah. So I'm going to insert a text box here so we can fill in our word bank together. Exposition. Good. Moving on to this part of our chart. What would be happening here? Ernest.
Rising action.
Rising action, right? This is the moment where we have one or more characters in crisis. We're starting to see the story is coming together. Maybe we're introduced to even more characters. Maybe there's conflicts among those characters. So rising action. Alrighty, the peak of our graph. What is happening here in our peak? Call on Naomi.
Climax.
the climax, right? Our highest point of action or tension, the pivotal moment in our story. Good. What happens here as we come away from the climax? We'll go Stephen.
Falling action.
Falling action, yes. This is the part of our story where some of the conflicts or events are beginning to resolve themselves, but our story's not quite over yet. So falling action. And then what do we have left? What's our final part of our chart, Logan?
Resolution.
Resolution, yes. This is where, what happens with our resolution? Mia.
What happens in resolution, right?
Yes, what happens in our resolution?
Everything is like solved.
Everything is resolved, all the loose ends are tied up. All right, awesome. So I'm going to show you guys, this is review as well. Last week we did a retelling of Cinderella. Your instructions were to read the short retelling, drag arrows to label at least 8 important parts of the plot. So we talked about the characters, when they were introduced, the conflict, and at least 4 rising actions, the climax, and the resolution. So we already did this, so we'll just quickly go over and review. Do I have a volunteer to read the first paragraph? Stephen?
This is a story about
I'm sorry.
a story about a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella lives with her stepmother and stepsisters. Because they are so jealous of her, they treat her like a servant.
Okay, so do we have anything from here I can label? Yusuf? Characters. Which characters were introduced, Yusuf?
Cinderella.
Yes, we have Cinderella. Who else? Yes. Alrighty. Next paragraph. Any volunteers? It's kind of a big one. Mia.
Okay. One day the prince announced a ball, and all the people in the land are invited. Cinderella is not allowed to go. Instead, she must do housework. She makes a wish, and her fairy godmother comes to turn Cinderella's rags into an exquisite gown and change her forest shoes into beautiful glass slippers. Cinderella goes to the ball and dances with the prince, but she does not tell him her name. When Cinderella...
Oh, you can stop right there, Mia. Good, because there's a lot of stuff happening here, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at our arrows we have left. Do we have anything I can drag over here and point out?
Yeah.
Did you see anything, Ernest?
Yeah.
The rising, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Uh-huh.
And it should be, yeah, Cinderella.
Right where, okay, so yeah, the first piece of information we're given, the first rising action is that there was a ball announced. Everyone in the area is invited. Then we see Cinderella's not allowed to go. Instead, she must do housework. So, would we call this a rising action, or is there something happening here that's kind of like, ooh, that's a little worrisome? Yusuf?
Conflict.
Yeah, conflict. So this is our conflict of our story. The conflict being Cinderella, like everyone in the land is invited, but Cinderella can't go. She has to do housework. Moving on, she makes a wish, and her fairy godmother comes to turn Cinderella's rags into an exquisite gown. What would we call that, Naomi?
Rising action 2.
Rising action 2. Here's another piece of information in our story. Some more characters in crisis, or it could be things are going well, so far, so good. Cinderella goes to the ball, dances with the prince, but she doesn't tell him her name. So this could be, what do you think, Naomi?
Rising action 3.
Rising action 3. This could be another piece of events happening before we get to that pivotal moment of the story. So I'm kind of covering it. I'll read this paragraph for us, guys. When Cinderella leaves her palace, she loses one of her glass slippers. The next day, she is once again in rags. Would we call this, out of what we have left, Rising Action 4? Yes. The prince, meanwhile, has fallen in love with the mysterious girl. He finds her lost slipper and searches the countryside for someone whose foot fits the little shoe. Each of the stepsisters tries unsuccessfully to force the slipper onto her own foot. The stepmother refuses to let Cinderella try it on. Steven, do you notice anything happening here?
I noticed the climax here.
Yeah, our climax, which is our highest point of
They got caught.
tension. Yeah, they got, the climax is, we're kind of shocked here, right? Because, oh no, Cinderella's stepsisters trying it on. What's going to happen?
Didn't fit.
And then it didn't fit. So you know what? That's a good point, actually. So we have our rising action. We have our climax here. I didn't include falling action here, but we could call the falling action would be the stepmother refuses to let Cinderella try it on, and then the prince insists. It's a perfect fit. That would be our falling action 4. What's our resolution?
The last sentence.
The last sentence, yes.
He take Cinderella into the bride or something. That's where.
Yep, that's where all the loose ends are tied up. So we get the idea of how to use these arrows? Okay.
Yeah.
In a moment, I'm going to separate you into your groups. So group Dino Nugget will work together, group Butterfly will work together, and then Disneyland will work together. You guys are going to go into, this is going to be the same groups as your reading groups. So get into your reading groups in a moment. You are, I only need one of you from the group to submit this. So you're going to go to classwork, week 1, and it's the 3 Little Pigs plot practice. When you open it up, the directions are going to be the same as the Cinderella. You're going to read the retelling of the 3 Little Pigs. Read the short retelling. Then you're going to together drag your arrows, label at least 7 important parts of the plot. When you're done, turn it in. So this is the story, quick, short little retelling. Just drag each arrow where you think it'll belong, and I will come around and see if you guys need help, okay? So go ahead, get started there. That way. Okay. Alrighty. So where's your group?
It's start your seat before you get your seat taken.
Okay, let's join.
playing games. You don't want me to work.
Here, I didn't help them out since you finished.
Yeah.
How come he's playing games? I don't know.
Be nice.
Let's get along in here.
Each
Okay.
building.
They're playing games.
Where's our?
Mia, come join us.
I don't know why.
Help us
Didn't
out.
you just give it on there?
I know this.
No, we did the Cinderella together. This one you guys got to do. So,
I'm picking that fucker.
What's this? Once upon a time.
I got the PS5 version, but I want to get the PS4 version.
So help
So-
us out.
So, the first one goes in the middle, like by the them.
The characters.
Yeah.
So the paragraph, it should be where they're introducing the. Let's try it. So, what did you think it was? So
The first one is in the middle.
for the characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was right here. That's the middle.
Yeah, we're already done.
And then the second one
I'm already
was.
done. Good for you.
I didn't know it worked. He did
Leave home.
Yusuf, Adair, we're not going around the class, please. Yusuf, you finished, right?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure one of you hits turn in. Steven, did you hit turn in?
Yeah.
Okay, add me a comment saying that you and Yusuf worked on it together, please, so you both can get credit. You guys, we're not being choo-choo trains either, okay? Scoot in.
Okay, I'm done.
All done? You feel good about it?
Yep.
Okay.
35 points.
35 points, yes.
Let's go. That better be 40
1
points.
Per, 1 point per arrow.
That wasn't
Okay.
even 30 arrows.
How
or
is
what?
Team Disneyland doing?
Very good.
Very good? Okay, so far we have characters. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you. One of you hit turn in and comment that you worked together.
Wait, can you turn in and comment me and whatever?
Mia.
Can you tag me and Mia?
We're gonna play the main game so we can all remember everybody's names.
Mia.
Naomi, Ernest, Adair.
So far,
Ernest
does it
is
look
my
like
boy.
we're gonna get the points here?
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get the points if everybody turns it in, and we write down who worked with who.
Oh, who wants to write down?
One of you can.
I'm not a good writer, so.
Okay, Mia, add me a private comment saying that you, Logan, and Aiden worked on it together.
Should I close this or do something?
Oh, yes, thank you, Aiden. Yeah, we can pull that up. We don't need it anymore.
That's cool how it just makes it switch.
I know, right?
Any idea?
I got that.
Yes, you did.
What's your name?
I didn't
You didn't need it.
I didn't.
His name is Yusuf.
Aiden.
His name is Yusuf.
How do you spell that?
I-D-E-N.
I.
D-E-N.
His name is Yusuf, not Isaac.
So how are you supposed to get us doing our work if we're already done with our work? I-E-N?
If you're done, I'm gonna look on Google Classroom and see who
It's not that hard.
turned in all of the comments, okay?
I-D-E-N.
And then this is our last thing we're gonna do today, so.
Perfect.
We'll hand this out when everybody's done and seated in our area.
Can I do mine right now?
Your quiz part?
Yeah.
Let's wait till everybody is finished.
So we did the Cinderella, we did the review
Yes, we did the notes,
we did
the
the little
practice.
Yeah, no,
now
yeah,
the
five-
exit.
500.
Yes.
I did mine. That's mine.
Now let me go back to my video game.
Why
I'll
is
go ahead and do this.
it
Take a, picture.
All right, how we doing? Finished? Finished? Okay, one of you hit turn in and please comment who you worked with. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for the exit ticket?
No, but I will do it.
Let's try our best.
Oh wait, it's on paper?
It's on
I wish
paper.
I
No, I hate paper.
Yeah,
I have a few.
Ruining trees, you know that, right?
A PS5.
Okay,
I got a
ready?
Destiny.
So,
Can I film?
I want
Well, that's not gonna come out in those 6 That's like
okay.
4 years.
At this time, I need everybody back at your seat, your original seat. Close your Chromebook for the exit ticket.
What is the exit?
Our exit ticket is just going to be this little parts of plot chart. You guys have to do it on your own. Don't use your notes this time, okay? I want to see if you can do it on your own.
Oh, wait, where'd this seat come from? Here?
Yes, please put your name at the top. Mia, you're sitting here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Please put your name at the top.
Oh,
I have
okay, let's
pencils
use this.
over there and your pencil. Ernest, you're sitting here?
Oh, that was
Oh, that's.
Also, they're not recording.
Yeah.
What?
Oh. Oh.
They are.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Oh,
Just for reference, this is the parts of plot chart, parts of plot chart for their exit ticket. They have to fill in using the word bank and put where each part of plot would fit on the chart.
Who's getting graded on this?
Maybe. We'll see.
Favorite answer.
And then please, please, please make sure your name is at the top of the paper, you guys, okay? When you're done, you may turn it in the period 1 box in the back of the room, please.
Done.
back, Aiden. Here is the last component of
Who's
the lesson
Aiden?
today.
What
Fill
do I
out
do
the
now?
part of plot chart. Put your name at the top too. Yes, you may.
I still recording.
I didn't
Oh, and me.
remember his name.
Okay, boys, I need you to sit at your
Who's
seat
Aiden?
while Adair is finishing, please. Thank you. Just take a seat, wait quietly until all the tests are in, okay? And then we'll wrap up our lesson for the day.
It's not even recording.
It is.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why,
Thank you for checking, Aiden.
Yeah,
Aiden, take a seat and finish your part of plot chart, please.
why is the
Told me
other
to shut up.
teacher, like Masika, so secretive in this class? Like, do they hold a top secret or something? Masika, I forgot her name. Like,
Oh, Miss Wedgedon.
like, why is she so secretive about the class next to
I
us?
don't
Like,
know.
it's like she doesn't want them to know me and say.
Because she doesn't.
Well, you should have hired a great class.
You've done elimination.
100%. Oh, goodness.
I'll tell you how it works.
Okay. I need you guys to please take your seat because I have one test now. So, thank you.
This test was very easy.
It was like you finished, Aiden?
5 words.
Okay, that's the last person we got.
Hey, look at this. I'm doing it right now. Should I take that?
No.
Hey, wait, this looks painful.
Film me one.
Did you help? Yes.
I was filming, remember? Said that. Oh, yeah. I was standing here for.
Hello.
I was standing here.
I know you're recording.
Don't be like my brother.
Me and Naomi?
I'm kidding. Over
Oh my
here.
God.
And I don't like sitting back here.
Oh.
Yeah, no one watches me when
All done?
what I do.
Almost.
Wait, this one.
Nope. Oh, wait. Andrea, I know you came in a little. Do you want to do this? This is our exit ticket for today. Want to try it out? You can do it. It's just labeling the parts of plot.
That's her
Try to do it without letting. It's okay. You're not going to be ready now. I just want to see how well you can do.
This is John. I forgot the word.
They're all here at the bottom.
Oh, okay, alright.
All done? Yes. Please put it in the period 1 box. Thank you.
It doesn't slide. Is that from?
Can you donate to my charity?
It's so
To get free
You
stuff.
don't think cologne is strong? Yeah, it is.
It only sits on for a few days.
Yeah, this will only last 24 hours.
You'll just be paying for it.
Don't throw
and,
any.
You'll get nothing
Okay,
in return.
please stay at your seat. We can work quietly on something else while you're waiting, okay? We're almost done. I don't know, it smells like sweet hot. All right. Mia, you finished, right? You finished your chart? Okay. I didn't, go ahead and put it in the box.
Hmm?
The period 1, yes, please.
Why is there so many in there?
I have to do some grading. Alrighty, guys. Good work. Thank you for everybody's cooperation.